because we were talking about the warp before. Well, I forgot what's called the web. What?
Webways.
Webways.
Yeah.
Can humans use that?
So the Emperor was like working on it, and he pretty much finished it, and he was like, "Cool, we're ready to start figuring it out how to work it." And then one of his son Magnus came in and the whole deal. Hello and welcome to this CrabTale's reaction video. Today we're going to be reacting to every single Warhammer 40k faction explained part 2. This is our part 2 of part 2. Yes, that is correct. My name is Bryce and I'm joined by Kieran.
Hey.
And Jason.
Hey, what's up, man? How you doing? Sorry, I forgot my line.
Good, thank you, Jay. Thanks for asking.
Yeah, no worries, buddy.
It's been like 3 weeks since we've watched some of this, so we just did a little recap on some chaos.
Yes, we had a look. Yeah, we deliberately didn't record more just to get a bit of a reaction into what everyone was saying and stuff like that, which there was a lot of reaction to it, which was
Thanks
good.
for that, guys.
Thanks for all that. Thanks for all the comments.
If you've seen the other ones and you're here now,
good on you. You've done well.
And if you found this one, you can go back.
This is also very true. Yeah, I read through all the comments. A lot of really good positive stuff. Thanks for all that. Cha-ching, cha-ching. Love you's long time. That's something that I say. But yeah, obviously it's been 3. Has it been 3 weeks?
I want to say it's
been around 3 weeks since we watched it, so might be a little bit rusty. Well, me and Kieran anyway. On some things, but I'm ready to smash this out because I want to watch all this, and then we got his other video to watch, and then we're gonna sit down there and play a tabletop game, and then play a magic game. And
Magic, yeah.
Do you want to do the magic?
I want to do the magic one, yeah.
Yeah. Well, then, if you want to see us play the magic,
have you got all 4 decks coming?
Yes.
Okay.
The new set that's coming out.
You got all 4 of them.
Yeah.
So I don't need to buy any because you guys bought them all.
Yeah.
Well, they're kind of selling out like crazy. This is going really well.
Okay. Yeah, and then we'll try do a video in that somehow. We'll work it out.
We'll work it out.
Yeah.
Logistically, we'll work it out.
Yeah.
All right.
But anyway, let's get into this.
Let's go into the Eldar.
Yeah.
Eldar.
So let's talk about the Eldar, or also known as the Eldari, which are a super hyper-specialized and very technologically advanced race of, well, elf people. They were, as well, responsible for the creation of Slaanesh, the newest demon god. How'd they do that? Debauchery on a world-ending scale. See, back in the day, it was just Khorne, Tzeentch, and Nurgle. And the Eldar are very, very ancient, millions of years. These Eldar, however, have a bit of a sensory problem. You know, every kind of pain or feeling that you have is a little bit amplified compared to the normal. However, with Eldar, as their race advanced so excessively, and they became so self-reliant, and everything became so easy, there was no requirement for food production anymore. There was no shortages. Everything was basically done. Everyone was so comfortable. And that comfort breeded this weird sedation. And that sedation breeded the requirement for more and more debauchery.
Debauchery!
Debauchery! Debauchery! When everything you have can be so easily acquired, you will end up down this road of pure debauchery. All of the senses the Eldar had that were so powerful, things like feeling, happiness, sadness, and just evil and good, all needed to be satisfied and satiated. And the desire to satiate these senses grew more and more with worse and worse debauchery. It started off with things like sex and drugs becoming so much more rampant because these are the first things you generally turn to when requirements for living are so easily accessible. It would get to the point that made Sander Cohen in BioShock look sane. All right, this is the kind of debauchery it led to. It was constantly satisfying and satiating these sexual and sadistic or masochistic fantasies that only elevated and elevated, and this was species-wide. People started going down darker, more depraved, and more violent paths as time went on. However, some people didn't entirely take to that. Some of the Eldar were looking at this depraved species that they had become and said, no thanks for me, dog, I'm good. And they bailed. These are the Craft World Eldar. They left on these giant continent-sized starships called craft worlds. They believed in learning the old ways of the Eldar and pushing away from this depravity and
different designs,
debauchery
aren't they,
and
from
going
what
back
we're
to
saying?
their main roots. And so they would segment themselves on
Smoother.
these giant craft worlds far in the outer reaches of space. They even had this thing called the Webway. Remember what we mentioned about warp travel with the Imperium? Well, the Eldar had something way safer called a Webway. And the Eldar Webway is actually like a pocket dimension kind of thing. And in that pocket dimension, there were also more horrible, depraved groups and clans that would spend their time in there. And if you imagine the debauchery was bad already, these were debauchery X10. So all of this continued, and it bloated until Slaanesh just burst forth. All that emotion, all that mental, well, thought processes, I suppose, all of this in such a condensed space. Don't forget, this is all being shot, all their souls as well, into the warp. All of this depravity right into the warp. So what happened? Boom! Slaanesh was birthed and killed off 90% of the entire Eldar population. Untold trillions,
Seem like a good idea.
trillions had their souls ripped from their
Seemed like a
bodies
good idea at
and
the
their
time.
actual fleshy bodies devoured by Slaanesh demons. The entirety of the Eldar race was eaten alive and their souls consumed to the Prince of Pleasure. All of them got fucked up. It was so bad that it literally ripped a warp hole into the fabric of the materium called the Eye of Terror. That's literally this like quasi horrifying gateway portal from the materium and the immaterium right next to Cadia. And it is horrifying. So this Slaanesh, also known as She Who Thirsts by the Eldar, slaughtered the entire population except for a couple. Those in the craft worlds were actually not affected by this as they were so far in the reaches of the galaxy. That crazy crack, that birth of Slaanesh only affected the ones in the center. So these craft world Eldar were able to escape, but Slaanesh got their sights on them. Every time an Eldar will die, their soul doesn't just pass into the warp naturally. It goes straight to Slaanesh, craft world or not. What about those people in the Webway? Well, imagine that giant birth happening, but they were only able to just barely get a grasp onto you. Slaanesh was just barely able to hold on. These people are the Dark Eldar, or also known as the Drukhari. The Eldar population right now is so massively small. It is minuscule compared to
small.
the other most of the other populations in the universe. The Eldar are consistently having issues trying to get their population up because as their souls are constantly being hungered by from Slaanesh, they realize their entire species is doomed. And they understand it very well. Since the time of the fall, our race has been haunted by what we, in our reckless pursuit of hedonistic indulgence, gave birth to. Though our dreams once overturned worlds and quenched suns, we are now but fitful shadows clinging to the edge of existence. All the stars in the sky cannot blot out the hateful glare of the red moon's eye. The birthing place of the great enemy pulses with all the malice of a demon that is dreaming, casting its shadow over all we have ever done and all we ever shall. Every twisted strand of fate and casting of the runes leads me to this time, to this place, and it is clear that the final battle awaits me at the ancient Crone worlds, a conflict the likes of which has not been seen since the Mon-Kai warred amongst themselves and their corpse of a seer fell to his traitorous son. Is coming, and all my steps lead towards it, no matter that I walk other paths. I see the stars stained red with the blood of the Mon-Kai, and though their wars do not concern me, I would gladly let them destroy one another. I know that to avoid this fight is to condemn my race to inevitable doom, and though all I see is darkness, I know that I will not flinch from my destiny.
Good job.
That was intense. Oh, we're not camping.
Who said that today? And I said,
So
"Shut
the Mon-Kai or the monkey, they're humans,
Human
Ah.
people.
Okay.
not monkey."
Oh.
Oh, a monkey.
And
Haven't
now
they
let's talk about
been in
cute
gold,
plastic models.
fucking M&Ms?
Bro, I'm straight up not having a good time.
Should we pause there or keep going?
I have some questions before
Okay.
I was literally gonna open my notes so I could write stuff down because I forget
Oh.
names and I forget things that I want to say. So I just want to quickly just start a new thing. Okay. Because we were talking about the warp before. What I forgot what it's called. The web. What?
Webways.
Webways.
Yeah.
Can humans use that?
So the Emperor was like working on it, and he pretty much finished it, and he was like, "Cool, let's like, we're ready to start figuring it out how to work it." And then one of his son Magnus came in and fucked the whole deal. And like, so the Webways it's like a subway system through the warp, where it's like it's safe travel. So when the people go through there in their ships, they're just out. It's like having a bridge across the ocean and not having to deal
I
with
look
the
at
waves
it
and
the way
stuff.
you describe it. I look at it like an underwater bubble that you can go through, and that's a safe way.
Yeah.
Okay. So they can, but what do you mean fucked it?
So
Like it's a deal. Like, oh, you can go through.
well, no.
it.
So the Emperor was there. He was trying to figure it out. He was working on it for years and years. And then Magnus thought he knew better for some reason, and he pushed his way into a webway and then came out at Earth and destroyed all the things that were helping it exist there.
Okay.
And it collapsed, and a bunch of demons got out and things.
Wait, so
died.
it doesn't exist anymore?
No, well,
The webway.
I don't. So that webway opening might not exist, but the webway exists.
It exists. Okay.
But yeah, the one on Earth probably never going to get opened again. I can only
Unfortunate,
imagine.
because that would solve a couple of problems.
It would.
That
That way, human can't
creating Slanesh. Were the other ones created by a similar thing?
So Korn's created from like war, and I think it's like war and hatred and blood, thirst and stuff like that, killing.
Oh, okay. But not like an actual like faction or anything.
No
specifically?
singular people
Okay.
did it.
Okay. Because
It's
I don't
theory.
remember them.
Product or something going on.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
didn't
so it's
mention
like,
that at all when he was talking about
No,
it.
yeah,
Okay. Yeah.
yeah.
Because
Maybe
otherwise,
slowly
I know.
gets into it.
No, but I mean, like he didn't mention it when he was talking about them,
Yeah.
about her, about Slanesh. I don't know what
Yeah.
you want to
I
call
just,
it.
But I
these
think
fake elves.
Yeah. it's
space elves.
Space elves. Weird.
And you go from all these boxy shapes to all these are like rounded and all.
Bit
Well,
different,
it's
huh?
still messy. It's still spiky and everything going on.
Yeah.
Kinda cute though.
It's weird. Like, and there's barely any of them left.
Cool design.
But it's hard. Still not a number. Like 1,000, 100,000. Because like 100,000 isn't many.
No, I reckon it'd be more than that.
Yeah, like a
Yeah,
million.
I don't know.
Like, I don't
but
know.
they also don't die. They can die. They don't grow old. They don't die of old age.
Okay.
Ah,
there you
okay.
go. And they also have because they're suggesting that they need food to eat, but they have enough. They have it all sorted for them. So everything is just ready. Is just done. That's why they got bored.
well, Yeah, don't know about the craft world guys. They maybe
Yeah, because that maybe
brought
that's
it back a little bit, gave themselves something to do.
Would you just do that, like burn all your food, give yourself something to do so you don't go crazy? I don't know. Yeah, okay. They were the only ones I remembered. There's probably more things that I was thinking about at the time. That's why I want to write stuff down. But
Okay.
They were interesting though.
I think we're still
of
getting
gems?
into more stuff
So
of them.
now this is the craft.
So
the
now
craft
we're
world ones.
focusing just on the craft world stuff.
The first playable race we have for the Eldar are the Craft World Eldar and living in those Craft World starships I mentioned earlier. And each of them have their own kind of craft world, almost like a Space Marine Legion. Each craft world is in itself its own special kind of group. And the Eldar themselves are very fast and rely a lot on trickery. They are squishy, a bit weak, but they're very in tune as psychers. Tons of psychers across the entire Eldar population, and their weaponry and abilities are fast and extremely hard hitting, but of course rather fragile. Understanding an Eldar's brain is an exercise in futility. They are all over the place in confusion and trickery on a whole galactic scale. They fight weird, they think weirder, and Eldar in their own right really rely on this to keep their species alive. They need to think about deception and the strangeness of what they do if they truly want to not be immediately murdered and slaughtered wholesale thanks to their entirely small population. However, I must say that it seems like their population is getting slightly better. These craft worlds hold millions upon millions of people.
There we go.
And as they continually, reproduce and have their craft worlds expand, losing a few people in battle, while hurts a lot, they aren't really losing what's extremely precious to them. It's not like every single death means the death of their species. It seems like they're kind of on the upturn a little bit. They're still a doomed race being sucked into Slaanesh every time someone dies, but they are definitely doing a little bit better than they were before. Eldar are fast, cunning, and what they don't make up for in tankiness, they make up for in extremely advanced weaponry. They also call humans Monkai, which is something I mentioned earlier. That is a derogatory slur for humans in the Warhammer world. Why is it called Monkai? Well, it's because you can't, in your game, call people monkeys. On the tabletop, exactly what I said.
Fancy.
Not very tanky, generally pretty squishy, hit like trucks, and move at Mach 5. Fast, hit hard, die fast. Exactly how it sounds.
That's how I play. It's my play style.
We bring only death
I have chosen
and
a lot.
leave only carry on. It is a message even a human can understand.
Oh, go easy.
Eldar. So,
Monkeyes, more
Drukhari.
like.
Let's talk
That's
about
what
the
they call
Dark
them
Eldar.
On today's episode of How Fucked Up Is Fucked Up.
Fucked up yourself. Yeah, go on. What? Anything else?
I didn't really have much more, except now it's explained that there's millions of them still there.
Yeah.
Just when he said for how small, I didn't understand the scale, but obviously there's heaps.
I guess on the scale of the entire universe and how many humans there are.
Yeah, because you're comparable to them, so obviously, yeah, fucking 20 million. Sorry.
That term is used in Game of Thrones.
Drukhari.
For Khaleesi's people, isn't it?
No,
Dothraki.
Dothraki.
Are they Drukhari?
No.
It's still Khaleesi's people.
I don't
What are you
think so.
talking
Not in that way.
The army she rules, isn't it?
Dothraki.
Yeah. They say that word.
That's Drukhari.
They say that.
Yeah, I think they say words. I can't remember.
Oh, is it when she says fire? For the
Yeah,
cool.
she said. Yeah.
Does that relate to this? Like,
No.
I'm not obviously not Game of Thrones, but fire.
I don't know. I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
I'm looking at it. It must be.
All right, look it up before you keep going.
Game of Thrones.
Drukhari.
Yeah, I'm a Drukhari. Yeah.
All that comes up is World of Warcraft. World of Warcraft. Cancel. Delete that.
Khaleesi fireword.
Right.
Yeah, right.
God.
Right. Delete all of that place.
Yeah, it's already deleted, mate.
Thank
Dracarys.
Dracarys.
Fucking Jason taking us on a dumb tangent.
I didn't take you on.
That's fucked up.
So those
You
people
guys
are
fucked up.
in the webway, in the super deranged cults and the depraved people of the Eldar. In the webway, they didn't
bless him.
quite get a hold onto them. Slaanesh has them, but it has them on by the pinky finger. And they're slowly being consumed by Slaanesh, but they found out they can stave her off by doing Slaanesh things. The Dark Eldar are by far the worst, most horrifying, disgusting, depraved, and brutal race in all of Warhammer 40k. These are entirely a group of people whose full purpose to save their species from extinction, to go into planets, raid them, and take as many slaves as they possibly can to torture them for 1, 5, 10, 20, a million years, because that torture will keep them from dying. They look very BDSM style too. They definitely have a lot more spiky bits and they have a lot more of that kind of leathery black look to them. But let's say you are an upstanding Imperial citizen, living life on a regular planet. You get invaded by the Necrons. The Necrons will shoot you with a deatomizer and you will be destroyed in a millisecond, and that's it. Not the worst way to go. You are invaded by Chaos Marines or something. You take a bolter shot to the head or a chain sword across your stomach and you get cut in half. Painful, but not the worst. The orcs arrive. They beat you to death. Hurts, but, whatever. Tyranids, they eat you alive. It's pretty rough. The Dark Eldar. The Dark Eldar. This is going to get a little graphic. I apologize. You pray you die. You don't. You are instead taken as a human slave. Your life will be endless work and agony, 24/7. They will make sure you can't not die, as your pain satisfies them. They will hook you up to all manner of torture devices. They will inject pain-based stimuli drugs directly into your nervous system. They will slowly run razor blades across your skin. They will fillet you and pull out your teeth and your fingernails one by one. They will remove your appendages and your skin and wait for it to grow back so they can do it again. They will murder and torture and use the R word, it rhymes with grape, your entire family in front of you and do the exact same thing to them.
It's not funny.
You yourself will also be rhymes with grape anywhere and everywhere possible. And this will occur for 20 years until you are no longer satisfying to them. And then you will be contorted, crushed, and twisted into some form of trophy, a fleshy trophy, or a ring, or a couch, or a TV stand, or perhaps a wonderful hat, while you are, of course, still alive and breathing. And you will become a moaning, fleshy trophy for eternity. And that is what happens when you are taken by the Dark Eldar. They are the most depraved, most horrifying race in all of 40k. They look the part, and they do it so they all don't die. They are literally forced to do this, because if they don't, Slaaneish's grip will get harder, and they will have their souls pulled away. So long as they keep doing this, Slaanesh is like, you're doing good, man. You're doing solid. You keep that shit up, you elf-eared bastards. That's the Dark Eldar. That's the Drukhari. They are horrible. On the tabletop, they're actually kind of like Eldar, but more extreme. They are even squishier than the Eldar, but they hit generally even harder. Fast attacks, skirmishers, really quick, speedy, get around them, do a lot of damage, get away kind of stuff. That's most of the Dark Eldar. Look up the definition of grim dark in a dictionary. You'll find a picture of the Dark Eldar. And Sev from Republic Commando. A quote from Mr. Vecht. We are the lords of despair, masters of terror. Dread and agony are our meat and wine, and they are plentiful indeed. Dark Eldar. Let's talk about the Harlequins. Clowns.
What's the matter, Andy? Don't you want to
I was
have
gonna
some
say. Yeah, that's all messed up, isn't it?
Yeah.
So they live in the web world.
Webway, yeah.
I
guess so.
Web world. That's why I wrote web world for some reason.
Aren't there web worlds in the web? Where is that?
I mean, yeah.
There's a reason I
They've
wrote
created
world.
little civilizations.
Yeah,
around the
okay.
Webways.
So they live in that, right? But then the reason that Slaanesh can't get to them is because they live in that.
I guess so, yeah.
But then how come they can leave and then go to other planets? Then wouldn't Slaanesh be able to get them then?
Yeah, but maybe it's metaphorically. So it's not like also.
But then you did say if they're doing
no,
the crazy stuff, then they're letting them do the stuff.
letting them live in the webways. But Slaanesh can't come into he can't once you leave the webway out of the warp. Once you're in the materium, the real world, he can't get you there. Slaanesh can't get you there.
Oh, okay. Why? Well, I guess he can't. I mean, yeah, okay. No, I know what you mean now. It makes more sense. But for some reason, I was stuck on that. It's like I don't know why, and this is just because I really love the TV show Firefly. But that's what all the I don't know what they were even called. They're called something. I haven't watched Firefly in years, but I love the show. That's how much I love it. I forgot everything about it. But they had the Reavers. That's what they're bloody called. They're just like crazy people that used to go and grape people and then eat them alive and then kill them. It was like they kill you, they eat you, they grape you, but hopefully they do that in that order because they normally would do it the other way. That's like that, but
okay.
like taken to the extreme.
Yeah.
Like it's like
I
they
thought of-
dulled it down for it.
I
Like
thought of Rick and Morty when them aliens come that like pain and then they like
Yeah.
hanging around.
yeah.
Morty, because he's so
Not
no
Morty.
Morty.
Jerry.
Jerry, because he's so cringe.
Oh, that's cringe.
pain.
Cringe
them.
brings us pain.
Because at the start I thought of that. Oh, you haven't seen that? I won't say it. Don't worry.
I say that.
The Black Mirror episode is what I was going to go with, but
Oh.
Bryce hasn't seen it yet, so I won't spoil it.
Spoilers. Harley Quinn's is going to be the last one now.
Okay.
All right. This guy's
The
a cool
Harlequins
toe.
are a bizarre race of Eldar. They're demonic clown performers. They're like a weird mix of Sander Cohen from BioShock and Jin from League of Legends, but in a more clown theme. They're artists of death and perfecters of their craft. They do not belong to craft worlds or any of the weird Drukhari people. They guard something called the Black Library, which is this giant tome of never-ending knowledge deep in the heart of the Eldar webway, and also guarded by their god named Kegorok, I believe is how you pronounce his name. He is the laughing god, but it's the Eldar's laughing god? And these are the Harlequins, the Harlequin clowns. These are Eldar clowns, okay? So imagine the things that an Eldar, these depraved individuals, would find funny. And this is the god of that. It's a horror clown. These are gods of horror for us normal people. For them, they're like, oh, it's so funny. They're all dying horribly. Honk, honk. They're very bizarre and difficult to describe. They've escaped the ruinous powers of Slanesh somehow, but their main thing is guarding that Black Library. And the Harlequins just... They're demon clown performers. They're barely any models on the tabletop. They're good in melee. They're demon clowns. I'm not sure. I got a quote. It is too easy for an Eldar to embrace the obscene virtues of chaos, for Slanesh is nothing more than a manifestation of the Eldar mind in its most wild and unconstrained form. Human morality is meaningless to the Eldar, and to the dark side of the Eldar mind, all life is to be expended at a whim. Cruelty and generosity are but the impulse of a moment. Beauty and sensuality are virtues that can be expressed in bloodshed just as easily as in song. To an unfettered Eldar mind, there is neither sanity nor madness, but merely a wave of perfect existence fulfilled by its own savage momentum. They're very strange. Harlequins, Drukhari, Eldar, they are an anomaly that make humans seem completely easy to understand in comparison. They range from rekindling their civilization to horrifying murder and also clowns. They're all over the place, but honestly, they represent quite well and are rather interesting, especially with the whole Slanesh murdering everyone bit. So, yeah, Eldar. Now, bugs.
Oh no.
No.
Whatever
not
that is,
yet.
it's cool. So they worship this god. Is that god in it
I
at all?
have no idea. That's the first I've heard of them.
Oh, you don't know them at all?
I don't know about
Oh,
Harley
well, I
Quinns
had
at
questions because I
all.
want to know what the library is. What's in the library?
Well,
Why
the
are they
Black
protecting
Library.
it?
Eldest knowledge. They said that.
Is that what they said?
Yeah.
But in that, this is like a some reason I thought it was like a, I don't know, like a metaphoric library. Like it wasn't actually a
A
library.
literal library.
I don't know.
Well, just to let you
Is
know,
it just a building that they're protecting?
I don't
Oh,
know.
you don't know. Sorry.
the Black Library is what they is. The collection is actually the actual books that they release. They're all part of the Black Library.
Oh, that's clever.
One way to do it, isn't it?
Pretty cool, huh?
Mm. That was all. I mean, there wasn't much about that. So that was all the only questions I
They
had
were
about
cool
that.
though.
But I do
those are
like
the
them.
biggest, yeah.
I like clowns. I was a big fan of
That's
clowns.
yuck. I hate clowns.
Really? I used to
Yeah.
collect little clown dolls when I was younger. The scary ones.
You're a fucking creep.
I know.
Wait, the god looked cool though. I wanted to know more about the god.
Yeah, I mean, maybe there is more stuff about him that someone could mention in the comments.
Maybe it's coming in 50k.
Oh,
Or maybe it's already out and you just don't know. I don't know.
never know.
That's random.
I mean, this video is like 4 years old.
True.
like me.
Just like you.
Be active sometimes. Is that all you're doing for this part?
That's what we be doing for this part.
Because now it's okay.
There it is.
No, I was
so it's
gonna say
25
that.
minutes for the next part. I guess that's the last part.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, and then that'll probably be a long one, and then we might do something after that, like talking about stuff, but maybe like a little pod or something. I don't know. Something about talking about the thing.
One of the magic decks. That's the theme.
Tyranids.
Oh, really?
Yeah. There's
So
Imperium,
I'm discussing whether I
Tyranids.
want to use that one.
Maybe.
Interesting.
And there's
No clown decks.
Necrons and
Necrons, Inquisition,
Chaos.
and
Oh,
wait, was it Inquisition and Chaos?
don't look at me.
No, wait.
There's the Imperium one.
Yeah.
Inquisitor.
Oh, is that the one with all the Inquisition in it?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
That's all the human stuff.
Then Chaos one where Zeech is
just
overrepresented.
Is it?
Tough crab.
Yeah.
There's a lot of noble stuff.
Was there? When
Yeah.
I was scrolling through, it just had a bunch of birds, and I was like, cool.
Yeah, no, there is Nurgle, the little rot soldiers or something, are they called?
Poxwalkers.
Yeah, Poxwalkers. I just say Jason.
Thank you. All right.
right,
We're
cool.
done with this now.
All right. Thanks for watching along with us. Hope you enjoyed our reaction to this part. And be sure to like and subscribe and hit that notification bell so you get notified every time a video goes live. Anything else?
There
That's
better
it?
not be no more
Cool.
surprises. There better not be dwarves. I can't think of anything. Oh, we saw orcs already,
Oh.
didn't we?
What?
They just brought dwarves back.
Oh no!
You knew as
This
well.
world's
Oh no.
freaking massive. No, I didn't know that.
Crazy. All right.
Cool.
We'll
All right.
see you in the next video.
Bye.
The next part.
Bye.
Have a great day.
Our
Fury and might, and it consumes them. Thus you can see chaos is inevitable.
We lurk
We lurk not only beyond their grasp and at the gates,
we
lurk within the darkness of their souls, on the tip of their tongues, in the tortured dreams.
We are them.
but
But we
From shackles of ignorance.
I couldn't see what it was behind him.
strong, evolved. We are,
We are
that,
that,
but
and
so
much
much
more.
more. As hardcore as that quote is.
don't do
It
that
just
during the
appears-
video, whatever you do.
Appears in front of us.